These Madden 23 sliders are going to change the way that you're playing Madden forever. You know that Madden just released their newest update and they fixed a lot of things. So that gave me the opportunity to create some really, really good sliders. And I have some results here of some of the games I've played once that patch was released by Madden. So I started here with the Seahawks. You see I finished going 4-1. But what I want you to keep an eye on is look at how close all these games are. Seahawks, we win by 8. The Steelers, we win by 7. The Lions, we win by 3. The Buccaneers lose by 5. And then the Saints, we win by 7. And then I just played my first postseason game against the Rams and win by 1 in an absolute walk-off with like 15 seconds left. These games are going to do two things. They're going to make the stats realistic if I show you the box score of this Rams game, and it's going to give you a challenge. Now, my sliders are predominantly focused on trying to replicate stats in the NFL, but then also give you a rewarding, challenging experience. So if you're focused more on trying to make the game harder for you, maybe these sliders aren't for you, because I focus more on realism over necessarily trying to make the game harder for you. So if you take a bad team, you should lose. But if you take a good team, yeah, you're probably going to win most of your games. So if we look at this, just Baker Mayfield threw 2 touchdowns, Stafford threw 3 with 1 interception. Both guys completed 73% of their passes. One of the things that really is hard to control in Madden is kind of how accurate the CPU quarterback is. And what you'll notice whenever you're using these sliders is you're going to get an average completion percentage by the CPU around like high 60s, low 70s. All right. You won't always get 80s, which is kind of what the base setting is. If we even just go and look at just Jared Goff here, I do believe when we played the Lions, he had a pretty low pass completion percentage, I do believe. And you see right here, he did with, I completed 64% of my passes, Jared Goff 55. So you'll kind of get a mix of different pass completion percentages, but it is going to err on them being a little bit higher than you probably would like. But overall, the gameplay is going to be really good. It's going to be tough to run. And one of the things that's also kind of tough as we go into these sliders here is the fumbles. Fumbles are for some reason now really predominant in the game. You'll just have to kind of roll with that. I will constantly update these sliders. So if you want to join the Discord where I constantly update and post things that are happening with these sliders, if you want to join that, links down in the description, because I just always don't make a video for every minute change that I do make. So maybe, you know, I'll tweak these a little bit more, which I do see myself doing. You want to be in the Discord so that you're updated on that. So we're going to keep quarterback accuracy 43. Pass blocking is at 64. Wide receiver catching dropped it down just a smidge to 49. Run blocking is at 44. Run blocking, it's going to be hard to run, and it should be. It should be a grind to have a 4 to 5 yard per attempt average with your running back, especially if you don't have a good offensive line and if you're going up against a vaunted front 7. It's going to be difficult. You're going to have to read your holes. You're going to have to be patient, just like an NFL running back is. Fumbles is at 65 to kind of counteract the amount of fumbles that are happening in the game right now. Pass defense reaction time is 43. Interceptions is at 5. You're still going to get interceptions that happen, but more times than not, whenever your team or you get your hands on the ball on defense, it's going to get dropped, which is what happens in the NFL. Pass coverage 63. Tackling is at 78. One of the things that I did notice after this update is that the CPU breaks a lot of tackles, especially in those stand-up animations. So this helps counteract that sometimes. Quarterback accuracy for the CPU is at 26. Pass blocking at 47. Wide receiver catching for the CPUs at 38. You might think that's a little too low, but I only get maybe 1 or 2 drops a game by the CPU. And that's also to kind of help with the pass completion percentage that the CPU has. Run blocking 31. Fumbles 68. We talked about that already. Pass defense reaction times at 4. Interceptions at 5. Pass coverage is at 50 and tackling is at 55. Now, my special team sliders really haven't changed any since my previous slider set. Neither has my game option sliders. Penalties. Everything stayed the same except for intentional grounding. I did turn that off. There's always some talk in the Madden community about, does intentional grounding actually change anything on how the AI works for the computer's quarterback, like the decision making? This time I decided to turn it off, and you saw that we're kind of getting a mixed bag of completion percentage. Is this the reason? I don't know, but I'm just going to keep it off for the time being. I'll probably in my next update turn it on and see if it makes any changes. But for now, just turn it off. Intentional grounding, the CPU doesn't get called for it anyways. No point in it being on. But I hope everybody enjoys these. I also have XP sliders. Check those links down in the description. Auto sub sliders, they're down there as well. If you want more slider content and ways to improve your Madden franchise, make sure you subscribe down below. I'll catch everybody later. Peace out.